Once again, good afternoon to everyone. Today, we are going to start a very interesting as well as a very informative poem. And the name of the poem is Amanda. Why I said it is an interesting as well as an informative poem, the reason is it actually deals with our day to day thoughts. हम जैसा सोचते हैं रोजमर्रा में, जैसा हम लोगों के साथ में होता है, मीन्स हमें भी ऐसा लगता है. एंड दिस इज द वेरी यूनिवर्सल थीम, that is adults control, domination, instructions, whatever you call it, and the youngsters reaction towards the same. मतलब कई बार ऐसा होता है कि पेरेंट्स हम लोगों को जो है समझाने की कोशिश करते हैं, एंड वी लिटरली हमें ऐसा लगता है कि उनको जाकर पकड़ के सुना दो. होता है. इट्स नॉट अ व्हाट वी कॉल एज एनीथिंग विच इज वेरी negative. As I'm a counselor, so I come across many students, many parents. In fact, last year also I had one child. I don't want to name the child, but because she's one of the child who is studying in very आप ही के किसी एक स्कूल में पढ़ती है, तो शी ऑल्सो हैड द सेम प्रॉब्लम. उसको लगता था पेरेंट्स आर ओवर कंट्रोलिंग, एंड बच्चे को लगता था कि बच्चा जो है वो बिल्कुल ठीक है. And this, what we call as the difference between the parents' attitude and the child's perception towards the same is very common. क्योंकि जब आप, ये मैं जो अभी बताने वाली हूँ ना, this is related to a question in your book. When you are in your teenage, तो at that moment we feel that हमारे जो parents हैं, they are not our friends, because हम बड़े हो गए होते हैं, हमारी सोच बड़ी हो गई होती है अकॉर्डिंग टू अस. मतलब मैं यहाँ पर अपने आप को इसलिए ले रही हूँ जस्ट टू गिव यू दैट आई एम नॉट इन योर एज, यू ऑल आर टीनेजर्स, and definitely I have come out of that. Fortunately or unfortunately, when I was a teenager, I did not have all these blues. I don't know why. I used to think whatever my mom is saying, that's right. मतलब मेरा तो ऐसा नहीं है कि आई एम praising myself, but I never had that interaction. I don't know what was the reason. Then fortunately or unfortunately, when my daughters came up, उनके साथ भी ये problems नहीं आई. I had a very smooth sail. ठीक है, उन्होंने जो बोल दिया मैंने भी मान लिया, मैंने भी डांट दिया, उन्होंने भी सुन लिया. But yes, now with my younger son, that is my sister's son, and then I also have lots of students जिनके साथ में ये problems आती हैं, where they say कि उनके जो parents हैं, they try to control their lives. ये मत करो, वो मत करो, ऐसे मत बैठो, ये मत करो. And in fact, my sister used to have these kinds of, if my mom would say कि do this, so she would say, why should I do this? उसका एकदम होगा, why should I do this? If my mom would say कि learn cooking, so why should I learn cooking? I don't need to learn cooking. तो ये जो एक डिफरेंसेस होते थे, एंड मैं मतलब कि इन लोगों के बीच में विचार करती थी, अरे मम्मी ऐसा नहीं, ऐसा ऐसा नहीं, ऐसा. बट बेसिकली क्या होता है, यू व्हेन यू आर अ चाइल्ड, यू थिंक योर पेरेंट्स आर नैगिंग यू. पेरेंट्स को लगता है they are giving you a better life. What happens is parents try to give their examples कि जब वो छोटे थे तो उनके साथ में कैसी कैसी प्रॉब्लम्स आती थी. दिस इज ओनली टू मतलब अपने बच्चों को आगे उन प्रॉब्लम से बचाने के लिए वो बोलते हैं, बेटा जब हम छोटे थे तो ऐसा होता था, जब हम छोटे थे तो ऐसा होता था, हमने ऐसा किया, हमने वैसा किया. This is only to show that how it is difficult and one should be able to overcome those situations. But बच्चों को क्या लगता है कि why your examples, why I'm not interested. Parents का होता है कि चलो बेटा तुम ये सीख लो. मतलब I have all kinds of students. ये सीख लो. क्यों सीखूं मैं? नहीं है मुझे इंटरेस्ट. And what we call it is, this is not a communication gap. This is not what we call as generation gap. This is a common scenario. एक बच्चा जो होता है वो बड़ा हो रहा होता है, उसके पास अपना एक दिमाग होता है, वो दिमाग टेढ़ा मेढ़ा चलता है, वो दिमाग अपना टेढ़ा मेढ़ा चलता है. द दिमाग डजंट वर्क अकॉर्डिंग टू व्हाट पेरेंट्स वांट. एंड हम एज अ पेरेंट क्या सोचते हैं कि नहीं नहीं, उसको टेढ़ा मेढ़ा नहीं चलाना है. I don't want my child to suffer. I don't want my child to be a failure. I don't want my child to face a humiliation. और हम जो है उसको चलाने की कोशिश करते हैं. एंड द बेसिक थीम ऑफ दिस पोएम, जो मैंने आपको कहा था कि क्वेश्चन है, तो हाउ डू वी कम टू नो दैट द मतलब व्हाट इज द एज ऑफ द चाइल्ड. तो डेफिनेटली द चाइल्ड माइट बी अ टीनेजर, क्योंकि मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम व्हेन वी आर इन द टीनेज, उस वक्त हमें लगता है कि आवर पेरेंट्स आर ओवर कंट्रोलिंग अस. क्योंकि 18 से 25 तक तो पेरेंट्स भी कहते हैं भाड़ में जाओ, सीखो, लाइफ को जियो. उससे पहले बच्चे छोटे होते हैं तो दे नीड द सपोर्ट. बट इट इज एक्चुअली द एज व्हेन अ चाइल्ड एंटर्स अराउंड 11 12 13 until 16 17, उसको लगता है माय पेरेंट्स आर कंट्रोलिंग. और यही वो दो पीरियड होते हैं जब बच्चों को सबसे ज़्यादा एजुकेशन में भी फेस करना पड़ता है. On one hand, the parents feel they should help their child. On the other hand, the child thinks कि मेरे जो parents हैं they are over indulged. That's a poem, Amanda. We are going to start it right now. In this poem, what happens is there is a child who is known as, जिसका शायद नाम अमांडा है, and she has been continuously nagged by her mother. अब यहाँ ये भी क्वेश्चन है कि मदर क्यों बोल रहे हैं हम, वाई नॉट फादर? दिस इज बिकॉज नॉर्मली बहुत ज़्यादा जो घर पे कंट्रोल होता है वो मदर का होता है, मीन्स लुकिंग आफ्टर द चाइल्ड्स एस्पेक्ट. शी इज continuously giving instructions to Amanda. She wants her child to be perfect in her personality. She wants her child to clean her room, be independent, look after her looks by not eating too much of chocolate. She wants her child to adhere to her instructions carefully. Lekin on the other hand, Amanda does not want these things. उसको लगता है कि उसका जो फ्रीडम है, it has been curtailed. उसके फ्रीडम को ख़त्म कर दिया गया है. She doesn't want every time to hear the noise of her mother. She wants silence. And in one aspect, मतलब वो इतना ज़्यादा खुद को डिप्रेस्ड समझती है कि she even wants that she should be an orphan. उसको मतलब वो खुद को orphan से she compares. Orphans जिनके पेरेंट्स नहीं होते, एंड उसको लगता है कि जो ऑर्फन्स हैं दे आर मोर फ्री रादर देन वी, विच इज रॉन्ग. मतलब जो उसकी सोच है वो गलत है. स्टिल शी थिंक्स इन दैट वे बिकॉज उसको ऐसा लगता है कि उसके जो एल्डर्स हैं, उसकी जो मदर है, शी इज कर्टेलिंग हर फ्रॉम ऑल दीज एक्टिविटीज. देयर आर, इफ वी लुक, देयर आर नो, बेसिकली ऐसा नहीं है कि कोई एक लड़की, एक गर्ल है अमांडा, एंड द मदर इज द, अमांडा कैन बी सेड imaginative, she can be said that she is a rebel. On the other hand, she can be said that she is a small teenager. Mother is dominating, controlling, where she wants her child to be in the perfect position. Don't bite your nails, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. Stop that slouch and sit up straight, Amanda. If you look, there are exclamatory marks here. Even there is a question that why exclamatory mark has been put. That's an exclamation. The mother is expressing her anguish. वो कह रही है कि देखो शायद वो अपनी नाखून चबा रही है. So she says that there is no need. You should not hunch. जब तुम चलती हो या फिर बैठती हो तो you should not slouch your shoulders because that would make a hump on your in your back. She wants a child to be perfectly straight. Stop that slouching and sit up straight, Amanda. अब ये देखिए कि these lines are put in the bracket. These lines are put in the bracket. If you see 1, 2, here the lines are put in the bracket. Now what is that? Ki why these lines are put up in the bracket? There is a question also. Ki why they have been put up in the parenthesis. The reason is when the mother is nagging, when the mother is giving the instructions on the parallel, ये उसके दिमाग में खिचड़ी पक रही है. मतलब this is her imagination. As I said that Amanda is an imaginative girl, तो ये उसके दिमाग में imagination है that there is a languid emerald sea, blue sea है, and जहाँ she doesn't want anyone, she wants to be alone, she doesn't want anyone to control her, and she wants to be a mermaid. Now why she wants to be a mermaid? बिकॉज मरमेड के पैर नहीं होते हैं, उसे पैदल नहीं चलना पड़ेगा, उसे सीधा नहीं बैठना पड़ेगा. शी जस्ट वॉन्ट्स उसके विंग्स हो एंड शी इज ड्रिफ्टिंग ब्लिसफुली. मीन्स शी वॉन्ट्स टू बी अलोन. शी डजंट वॉन्ट एनी वन टू बी विद हर. In the second instruction, the mother is inquiring, did you finish your homework, Amanda? Did you tidy your room, Amanda? Mother is concerned that the child should complete her homework. She should clean her room. I thought I told you to clean your shoes, Amanda. मैंने तुमको बोला था ना अपने जूते साफ करके रखो. Again, there is an imagination going in the background. I am an orphan. She is not an orphan. She is comparing herself. She is contrasting herself to an orphan. कि orphan जो है कितना free होता है. They don't have anyone who will be all the time nagging them, someone who will be chasing them. सारा दिन उनके पीछे कोई पड़ा रहेगा. On the other hand, being an orphan is one of the worst curse in the world. क्योंकि जो पेरेंट्स का जो एक छत्र छाया होती है, that cannot be replaced by anyone. बट इस वक्त में शी इज नॉट सेइंग शी वांट्स टू बी ऑर्फन. शी मीन्स शी मतलब कि एक ऑर्फन की जो लाइफ है, शी वांट्स दैट लाइफ फ्री, without any nagging, without any control. Roaming the street, I pattern soft dust with my hushed bare feet. मतलब वो कहती है कि अगर मैं, if I was not controlled by anyone, if I was मतलब कि an orphan is better than me. वो यहाँ पर अपने दिमाग में ही बात ला रही है कि an orphan is better than me. Why? Because they can roam freely. They can make the soft dust with hushed. जब मिट्टी उड़ती है तो वो पैरों से वो पैटर्न बनाते हैं ना हम. आई डोंट नो हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू मेक, बट नॉर्मली हम लोग जब असेंबली में होते थे ना, स्कूल असेंबली में, तो वो अपने जूतों से वो ऐसे पैटर्न्स बनाते रहते हैं. तो शी जस्ट वांट्स टू एंजॉय दैट एक्टिविटी. This line, the silence is golden, the freedom is sweet. This is a metaphor, and this is one of the very common question which comes ki what does it mean? For her, the silence and the freedom have been snatched. तो उसने जो है साइलेंस को गोल्डन एंड फ्रीडम को एक स्वीट, बिकॉज शी फील्स हर लाइफ इज बिटर. Don't eat chocolate, Amanda. Remember your acne, Amanda. Will you please look at me when I'm speaking to you, Amanda? In this, the mother is concerned about the physical health of the child. And maybe she is allergic to chocolate or something, that when she eats, she gets the acne. तो mother उसको मना कर रही है कि मत खाओ. And also that जब मैं तुमसे बात करती हूँ तो you should have an eye contact. Having an eye contact is always a sign of good communication. That shows that you are showing interest in other person's words. ये एक मतलब कि this is the truth. If you are speaking to me and I'm looking there, that means I'm disinterested. Even those students who will be taking 11th 12th में बाद में commerce लेंगे, तो there is even one we have a complete concept of communication barriers, और उसमें भी होता है that you have to have an eye contact. एक जब बेबी पैदा होता है ना, तो कहते हैं कि जब वो छोटा सा होता है, means even 10 days, we should have the eye contact with the child. That would develop the communication with the person very nicely. यहाँ the mother जो है, she wants the child to have an eye contact, but Amanda जो है, she is completely disinterested, so she is looking here and there. And what she is thinking? I am Rapunzel. I have not a care. Life in a tower is tranquil and rare. Tranquil मतलब peaceful. वो कहती है कि she is now comparing her life to the Rapunzel. Rapunzel is a girls might be knowing Rapunzel जो है, it's a fairy tale, एंड उसके बड़े लंबे लंबे बाल होते थे एंड शी इज उसके अकॉर्डिंग शी वॉज कन्फाइंड इन अ टावर, उसको एक टावर के अंदर बंद कर दिया गया था और वो उसके इतने लंबे बाल थे कि वो उसको मतलब कि पकड़ के नीचे उतर करती। तो यहाँ पर अपनी चोटी को काट कर वो रोप बनाकर नीचे आती है। दैट्स सम मतलब कि फेरी टेल। बट here she says I have not a care means I want to be carefree, I want to be very free। just on she imagines कि जब वो टावर में अकेली है, बिल्कुल पीसफुल, खामोश एकदम, आई सर्टनली नेवर लेट डाउन माई ब्राइट हेयर, लेकिन मैं ऐसे चोटी पकड़ के नीचे नहीं आऊंगी। आई बी एंजॉइंग माई लाइफ इन द टावर। At the end, the mother says, stop that sulking at once, Amanda. You are always so moody, Amanda. Anyone would think that I nagged at you, Amanda. उसकी मदर उसको फिर से डांटती है। वो कहती हैं कि देखो कितनी मूडी हो, जब भी देखो तुम अपना फ्राउनिंग चेहरा, स्टॉप दैट सल्किंग मतलब मेकिंग द फ्राउनिंग फेस, ऐसे करके अगर इतनी मूडी रहोगे और कोई और देखेगा तो व्हाट दे वुड से थिंक इज दैट आई एम ओवर इंडल्ज इन यू। सो दैट इज अ पोएम। As I said, we can relate it. Many students, many children have this kind of problems. I have seen it, whether we accept it or not, लेकिन होता है। पेरेंट्स का कंसर्न अपनी जगह, इट्स ऑलवेज देयर, दैट कैन नॉट बी इग्नोर्ड। आप पेरेंट्स को बोलो कि आप डोंट थिंक अबाउट दैट, दे विल नेवर स्टॉप। एंड चाइल्ड का एक एज, वो एक ऐसा एज होता है व्हेन द चाइल्ड वांट्स टू एक्सप्लोर द न्यू फ्रीडम। एंड देयर ये जो दो चीजों के बीच में आता है, दिस कम्युनिकेशन विच बिकम्स मिसकम्युनिकेशन, बिकॉज parents are not wrong, but the child is of course from my side not wrong, because the child मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि बच्चों को ना थोड़ा सा वो फ्रीडम देकर उनको छोड़ देना चाहिए ताकि वो इन मतलब कि समझें। बट समटाइम्स बेटा इट ऑल्सो हैपन्स कि ऐसे में कई बार गलत हो जाता है। द चाइल्ड लूजेज इंटरेस्ट इन द एकेडमिक्स, बच्चा पढ़ने में पीछे चला जाता है। आई हैव सीन स्टूडेंट्स हु हैव बीन टॉपर्स, वो लोग एकदम जीरो पे आ गए, विच इज ऑल्सो नॉट गुड। एक बच्चा जो बचपन से टॉपर रहा और उसके बाद द चाइल्ड सडनली कम्स डाउन, चाइल्ड का मॉरल भी खराब हो जाता है। सो दिस इज इन बिटवीन when such communication takes place, and as I said, these communications become miscommunication. So let us start with the poetic devices of the chapter. We have anaphora, we have allusion, transferred epithet, metaphor, If you look upon your screen, you can find the poetic device anaphora is repeated everywhere, like don't bite your nails, don't hunch, did you finish, I am an orphan. These words which are repeated in the next line, that's called as anaphora. Then stop that slouching and sit up straight. It's a direct alliteration since the letter S is repeated. Then Amanda, the word Amanda has been repeated. Hence, the repetition poetic device has also been used. I thought I told you to clean your shoes. The vowel O is repeated, so it is assonance. Then hushed bare teeth. Hushed means silently on the bare feet. जब मिट्टी उड़ती होती है तो खाली without any shoes she wants to make the pattern. Here this is a transferred epithet which is relating to her freedom. ये जो hushed bare feet है, this has been used that she wants to be free. Then the silence is golden, the freedom is sweet. This has even come as a question to explain, and this is metaphor. Silence has been compared with gold. Golden means it is very precious. Gold का मतलब क्या होता है? Which is very precious. And freedom is sweet means memories which we can carry. So it is metaphor. Then please look at me when I'm speaking. इसमें E and आपका मतलब जो E and A है, they have been repeated. So it is assonance. Mermaid, Rapunzel, both are some imaginary character. And when we are comparing, when we are referring to some person, some place, it can be जैसे हमारे उसमें था रॉयल बंगाल टाइगर, जो हमारा लास्ट वाला पोएम था हाउ टू टेल वाइल्ड एनिमल्स में रॉयल बंगाल टाइगर. तो जो बंगाल है वो एक प्लेस है. व्हेन वी आर रेफरिंग टू सम प्लेस, सम पर्सन, आइडिया, इट्स कॉल्ड एज allusion. एंड हेयर मरमेड एंड रपुंजल दोनों जो है allusion आते. In this again Amanda has been repeated. So stop that sucking Amanda, ये दोनों जो है it has been repeated. The poem has been written in the rhyme scheme of AABACC. This came as an objective question last year कि what was the poetic device. So if you look, AA Amanda Amanda, then straight Amanda BA, and then CC, C and me. So it has been written in this way. So AABACC. That's the rhyme scheme of the poem. Now let us come to the question answers. You will be having the objective type, that is the MCQs, which we would be doing in our next class probably. Then you have the RTCs, and of course from this particular chap poem and ball poem, ये जो दो poems है इनमें से आपके लॉन्ग क्वेश्चंस आने के भी पूरे के पूरे चांस होते हैं. As I had told when I was doing the ball poem, so that is a philosophical poem. Similarly, this poem is also dealing with the childhood and teenage blues. So this poem can also come, basically इसमें आपका जो theme है वो आपका आ सकता है. Now if you look into the questions, as I told you that there was a question which came in the paper only कि how old do you think Amanda is and how do you know? So we assume, we cannot be sure, but we assume कि ये जो normally ऐसा जो एक problem आता, that's in the teenage. Moreover, Rapunzel, then mermaid. उसके बाद तो बच्चे थोड़े बड़े हो जाते हैं, तो they read such, they relate to such fairy tales. So she might be a teenager, maybe 12, 13, like that. Then who do you think is speaking to her? This मैंने आपको बताया था कि इसमें क्वेश्चन आया था कि why mother, why not father? तो because most of the time it is a mother who is very concerned, मतलब कि ऐसा नहीं कि fathers are not concerned, but they would be, वो overall में बोलते हैं, and mother is very particular for each and every aspect. This mother who nurtures a child, and that is why it might be the mother. ये जो question है ये ऐसा आया था, who do you think is speaking to her and why? Then why are stanza 2, 4 and 6 given in parenthesis? अभी आपको मैंने ऊपर बताया था that ये जो ये वाला है, this one, I am Rapunzel, I am an orphan, and there is a languid emerald sea. These have been put in the parenthesis, brackets में डाल रखा है. This is because जो बाकी है that has been spoken by the mother, those are the instructions given by the mother. Whereas जो 2, 4, 6 है ये बच्चे की अपनी imagination है. This is imagery, this is an imagination. This has not been spoken. ये बोला नहीं गया है. This she is thinking in her mind. So that is why that has been put in the parenthesis. Then 8th question. This question is also the theme of the poem. What does the girl yearn for? Yearn मतलब long for. किस चीज की उसको desire है? What is she desiring? And what does this poem tell you about Amanda? So the basic theme of this poem is freedom, or you can say over restrictions. The child Amanda who wants to be alone, who wants to enjoy her life freely, is constantly controlled by her mother, given instructions by her mother to look after her own, to look after her room, to not develop wrong habits of biting the nails or sitting slouching. On the other hand, the child Amanda is irritated. She wants freedom. She wants a calm, peaceful life. Therefore, she develops an imagination in herself where she imagines to be a mermaid, where she compares herself with an orphan क्योंकि उसे लगता है the orphan has more freedom, or the fairy tale character that is Rapunzel. And the theme, that is what she yearns for. And what does this tell about her? That she is quite imaginative, she is rebel. क्योंकि rebel क्यों है? क्योंकि वो अंदर से उसको गुस्सा आ रहा है. That why I am constantly being told to do this, told to do that. So that is why she is rebel. And you can also say that to some extent she is stubborn. This. Then is Amanda an orphan? Why does she say so? That is not that she is an orphan or she wants to be on an orphan. She is comparing herself with an orphan because being a child, वो छोटी बच्ची है, तो उसको लगता है कि जो orphans हैं, they are free, they can move here and there, they are not controlled by anyone, which is in fact wrong on her thoughts, but she thinks in that way. So these are some of the questions which may be a two marker, but yes, the theme of this poem will come in a five marker question for you. Five or four, whatever your blueprint, the blueprint is going to come very soon. Maybe in this week, during this week, we'll be receiving the that sample papers. तो we will be receiving also the blueprint कि कितने मार्क्स के कितने questions आएंगे. So this particular question may be in the long time, long one. So that's all in the poem, that is Amanda.